You've written some JavaScript in your life, right? You know, React review, you know, callbacks, promises, closures, undefines, all kinds of stuff. Okay, let's get rid of all that, confuse it a little bit, and change the way you think. Okay, this is an array language called BQN. None of that exists. Basically, all you get is arrays and numbers and strings. All right, so this is the result of showing 5 plus 2. And BQN you right to left. So this is actually really like a function called 2 and get 2 arguments 5 plus 2. Okay, the equivalent JavaScript program is this. Pretty complicated, but as you can see, you know, you got two numbers, TypeScript, whatever. You get two numbers, you add them back together. Okay, not too bad. We add another one. We can even get crazier with it. We can 25 add to 7, 32. Okay, let's do that in this bad boy here. Add what I add 25, 25, and then this 32. Not so bad, right? And we obviously keep chaining forever, like a JavaScript. And imagine you didn't have operators. Okay, you just had functions. Bear with me for a second. Okay, so now we want to do something a little complicated, something a little fancy. We're gonna go range. Okay, so this is giving you the numbers, 10 numbers starting from 0. Okay, in BQN it's actually just a single character. Turns out, well, it's not worried about that, I guess. But just imagine that we have a function down here called range, and this gives you numbers, 10 numbers starting from 0. Okay, just like in JavaScript, you'd have, you know, some array. Under the hood, it's all like, you know, SIMD and who knows what else, but they have some sweet demons over there because you could do, well, I don't know, actually, I'm curious. Without printing it, can I say, can I do length, actually, just so we have, how fast is this? Does this work? Let me see. The underscores work, right, in numbers? Potential infinite loop? Okay, that's probably just the, unfortunately, there's no way of running JavaScript outside of the website, so, we're stuck on this. But okay. So anyway, the point is you can have a bunch of numbers here. It's gonna take a while to print, probably. But if we just get the length of it, I'm skipping ahead here. Okay, look at that. We have a bunch of numbers. This is actually the length. So imagine I did, you know, like dot length in JavaScript. That's what I did with this this function. Anyway, so we have our range numbers. Okay, easy. We want to add some math. Let's get a little mathy in here. So we're just gonna add numbers. We're gonna add, let's say, 500 to every element. Okay. Like, not so bad. In a JavaScript down here, we gotta write our own add all function. So this is basically a function that just adds. I'm gonna go 500 actually instead of 100. Okay, and this is just adding 500 every element. So making a new copy, right? So we're doing that here in our own world, just in a couple lines. And it basically just keeps going on like this. You can do a bunch of stuff with numbers like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so let's just, you know, add even more numbers. One more. So now we're gonna subtract. This is actually tricky, but we're gonna subtract 500 back out of this. Okay, so but the thing is, 500 minus won't work because it's all right to left. So again, it goes orders this function, which always remember is the Windows function. Then we add 500 to every element. Then we add 1. Then now we do 500 minus every element. But instead, as you remember, we could do this like this. We can do show. So beforehand, we have 500, 502, 503, etc. And we subtract 1, 500 minus 501, 500 minus 502, right? So because it's there's no PEMDAS or PEDMAS or whatever, you know, like it just goes right to left. So there's a swap modifier. Okay, this is a swap modifier, and it modifies the functions. It like goes in there and messes with all kinds of stuff, you know, more or less, right? So this thing now is going to do what we thought it was, where it's going to take the 2 arguments to the minus, and it's going to swap the order. So if we can swap it again and get back to the old thing we were at in the first place. Okay, that's just one little modifier. Let's get a little, and you can tell it's a modifier, by the way, because it's yellow, whereas a blue is a function. Cool. Okay, so let's go back to our simplified case here. We're going to define n as the numbers 0 through 9. Okay, and we're going to say n just for debug's sake. Here we go. That should work. Perfect. So we got ourselves n here. This strand is just another way. It's like a comma sort of thing in array languages. So if you do like 1, 2, 3, this is actually an array of 3 elements. Okay, so here we're actually printing a tuple almost. Okay, so we got n. And now let's do a for every element in n, let's do something cool. Again, let's go back to 100 plus n because these type. So again, not so bad. if we want to do something cool with that range function now and another modifier, we can use each. So let's take the first. Well, you know what? Let's just take the first three characters, three elements of n. But we're gonna take the rear three, like in Python and stuff, you go negative selection. So we do a fun fancy upper negative because we don't want to minus. This is the last three elements of n. Okay, we're gonna say last. We're gonna do the same thing as before. We're gonna do last. Okay, and now we're gonna go for every element in this, every element in range. We're gonna get like 7 elements. We're gonna get 8 elements. We're gonna get 9 numbers. I should say, not elements. So let's do this. So we're gonna go show. We're gonna go range 2 of last, and we're gonna see. So now you can see we've got 7 numbers. We got 8 numbers. We got 9 numbers. Because what we're doing here is we're going for each element in last. We're calling this function on it. Okay, and let me make that easier. Like, it doesn't matter. Let's do this. Okay, so again, we can see. How do I do this? Okay, so we got our elements up to 6, up to 7, up to 8. And again, this is each. So it's calling, since this is an array language, this is an array. And this helper here, this modifier called each, calls every element in the array each. Sort of like how we could also simplify it, not simplify it, but do something simple. And instead of doing anything with it besides calling range, we just show it. You just show it. And then if we want to, instead of just, I don't know, adding 1 to it, here, let's get a little tricky again. We're going to add 1 to every element. So this is actually kind of a function that we're defining in line here, where we say glue 1 to the left argument of plus. This is like a partial function. We're getting kind of tricky here. But just imagine this is now a function where we have like we're kind of gluing add, and we're going to say our new add. Here, gotta do const. This is, we go live coding here. Never works well. Equals n number. Okay, and this actually equals add. Oh shoot, we got. Okay, we're going wild. We're going wild. We're gonna add x plus 1 here. I said, and then number. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. We don't need x anymore because we have number. Okay. So now we have a new function. This by itself. Okay, we're not gonna be able to print it. I don't think. Is a new function. Yeah, it's not gonna do anything. But this itself here is a function that has 1 already filled in. Sort of like how this is already filled in. So our new add function is this. So if you call new add with 100, it's gonna give you 101. So if I call this with 100, and we're gonna say new add. Oh, it's gonna be confusing. So new add is this. We're gonna give it a uppercase name because of syntax rules, but we won't worry about that. So we got new add, and then what I have it here, we have 100. So now we're gonna have also the same thing, 101. Okay, so we can replace this with new add. We're having fun. Excuse me. Oh, because you didn't exist. Perfect. So now we have our same logic as before. Okay, so this is now a little function where we're saying, hey, plus your left argument is actually going to be 1. Instead of having to do this sort of thing, or we say your left argument here is always going to be 1 for add, we're kind of cheating a little bit. Not too bad. Not too bad. There's a whole world of things, right, where you can get kind of crazy and do all sorts of weird stuff. But the idea is it's a lot of fun. It's not the worst thing to read, okay? But it's cool. Let me know what you think.